What's up? I want to show you something first. Not because it's perfect, not because it cracked YouTube, not because it made my videos take off, but because it's the foundation for what I've been trying to say in my vlogs. This intro is the clearest version that I've been building from. So before I explain where my head is now, please watch this. My name is Colin, and I just crossed over into my 40s. The demands of my life is what it is. I gotta work, I have to support, shape, and mold my children. I have husband obligations too. Sound familiar? After all that, I still desire to build something of my own. To build something takes time, our greatest asset. I want to reclaim the creative flame I once had and reach higher in business. To do this starts from within. If I'm better to myself, I can be better to others, because I believe the ultimate form of medicine is personal investment. That has not changed. That intro is not fake. It is not outdated. It is not something that I'm embarrassed by. That is the foundation. But here's the part where I'm learning now. A foundation is not always a doorway. A stranger doesn't owe me the backstory. That's hard to admit because you've lived the story. You feel the weight of it. I know that these vlogs mean, and I know what it took to make them. I know what was happening in my house. I know what was happening in my head. I know the work days, the sports schedules, the editing windows, the late nights, the times where I almost didn't do it. So when I look at my vlogs, I don't just see a video, I see proof. I see a record. I see a father trying to stay connected to himself while still being present for his family. I see a digital archive my kids can look back on one day. A place where they can see what he was trying to build, what he was trying to protect, where he showed up, where he struggled, where he kept going anyway. That matters to me. I don't need YouTube to validate that part. But if I want this to work and reach beyond my household, then I have to accept something. Meaning does not automatically transfer. Just because something means something to me, it does not mean a stranger can feel that meaning in the first minute. And that's the tension that I'm sitting in right now. Because my vlogs, they're not just clips thrown together. They come from a real belief that adults in this season of life still need something that belongs to them. That fathers still need to invest in themselves. That people over 40 are not done becoming. That building something meaningful does not have to wait until it gets quiet, because for a lot of us, it ain't gonna get quiet. The kids are not gonna become less busy. The bills are not going to disappear. The job still exists. The marriage still needs attention. The household still needs something. The calendar still is filling up. And if you wait for your life to open up perfectly, you might wait yourself out of the very thing you were supposed to build. And that's the heart of my vlogs. That is the heart of this extension. But now I'm learning that the heart of the work still needs a clearer entrance, because a stranger does not arrive with my history. They don't know how I started this whole thing with weekly recaps for an entire year with my phone. They don't know about my degree and how I got it in my late 30s. Trying to hold on to a creative thread in my life. They don't know why any of this matters to me. And it's not their fault. That's my responsibility as the person making the work. Not to manipulate them, not to trick them, not to chase some fake version of myself, but to make the doorway clearer. That's what I'm starting to understand about this YouTube extension. My vlogs are the evidence. This extension is the translation. The vlog shows the life. The extension explains what I'm learning from it. The vlogs preserve the moments. And the extension tries to turn those moments into something useful for another adult who may be in the same fight. Because I know that I'm not alone, y'all. Listen, I talk to parents. I hear people my age. I see the rhythm, the work, the kid, TV, scrolling, sleep, repeat. And when you ask people, what do you do for yourself? I hear a lot of them laugh. They say, what time? Ha ha ha. That's a thing? And I get it. I really do. But I also don't think that it has to be the final answer. I don't think adulthood has to mean we stop exploring. I don't think being responsible that we surrender every creative part of ourselves. I don't believe that. I don't think fatherhood and ambition have to be enemies. But if I believe that, then I have to learn how to say it in a way that people can actually enter. And that's the part that I'm working on now. because there's another layer to this. I don't only see this as a memory. I care about telling stories. I care about business. I care about helping ideas gain visibility and traction. I understand that YouTube can be a business for people who learn how to use it well. And there's still that competitive part of me who wants to improve. The same part of me that still trains. The same part of me that still wants progress. The same part of me that looks at the work and says, this can be better. So I'm not pretending that I don't want the growth. I do. I want the work to move. I want the message to travel. I want this to become something useful outside of my own household. But I also know there's no guarantees. Definitely not a guaranteed formula. So I'm not sitting here acting like if I package everything perfectly, YouTube has to reward it. Because a mission statement tells people who I am. But the first minute has to show a stranger why this matters to them. And that's the shift. And it's uncomfortable because I know my story has weight, but I'm still learning that weight has to be carried differently when the person watching it has no context. I cannot expect them to just feel the meaning just because I lived it. I have to build the bridge, and that's what this season is, and that's what this extension is. I know what I'm trying to say. Now I'm learning how fast a stranger needs to understand it, and that's the work in front of me, because the story is still mine. The footage is still mine. The reason is still mine. But if I want this to travel further than my own memory, I have to make the entrance clearer for somebody who's just finding the door. That was a lot. That was not a perfect episode at all, but it was real. If y'all found this helpful, please leave a thumbs up, leave a comment, say something, let me know you're there. If you feel like this wasn't for you and you feel like this is geared to somebody else, send it their way. I'd appreciate that. These drop every Thursday, kicking and screaming. These is happening. Please take a look at what's queued up next, and I will see you next Thursday.